I would imagine anticipation is pretty high. It has been for actual games coming around. You've had some exhibitions, you had a scrimmage, but this group has been looked forward to for quite a while. What's it like for you to be at a point where you're in game week now?
Yeah, I think everybody's been looking forward to this since the NLIs were signed. And then when they were all on campus for the 8-week session in the summer. So now it's just about getting them focused for game week. It's been a long time since they've played an actual meaningful game, and you saw that yesterday in the scrimmage. But it was great to get some things on film and be able to sit down this morning and really start to dial them in. So they're pretty excited. We just have to tone down the excitement so they can channel it the right direction. And when the puck drops on Friday, they'll be flying.
Todd?
Is that an uphill battle, though? I mean, you got to imagine guys, not even just the young guys, but the guys that have come back wanting to prove something and are hungry are going to want to go out there and kind of run through a wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge because these guys, the locker room's so different. The competition, the competitive spirit that these guys bring every day, the character in the locker room, we just have to do a good job as a staff to make sure we understand what level they're going to bring each day. You see the competition in practice, so we just have to make sure that that we're not dragging it out too long and putting them in a situation where they don't burn out or absolutely, kill each other. I mean, because they go at it hard. It's kind of a fun, competitive group, but we do have to be careful and doing it the right way.
Todd?
Just keep it with Todd.
Thank you. You've got competition for spots in the lineup, especially at forward. How do you see that playing out? You talk about guys being competitive, and in practice they're trying to go for spots. Do you see that having shaken out already, or is it still going into the week with guys looking for something to prove?
I think it's going to go on all year. In reality of it, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good sign of a good team with the depth. I go back to in '90 when we won it. Dougie McDonald came in, and he's a fourth-line center. And he's a guy who played in the NHL. So we kind of have that depth right now, and it's going to be a competition and somewhat acceptant of roles, which they haven't had to do over the last couple of years, where guys were thrust into roles that they weren't ready for. Now we have pretty good depth, and now they can play themselves into the right roles. That's going to help not only our game, our team game, but it's going to help them as well.
Yep.
I know special teams are going to be critical whenever you're talking about it, but penalty kill had numbers last year that I don't think anyone was real happy with. How do you make that? Is there something you can look at making that better? Is it pairings? Is it strategies? How do you look at it?
I think, we've talked about it as a staff quite a bit. It's really the personnel, and we were putting guys in situations that were going to be very difficult last year in a penalty kill situation. And even if you start in net, it was hard at times. And that's going to change a lot this year drastically. Even you look at our face-off numbers, we were chasing it quite a bit. So you bring in a guy like Owen Lindmark, who is going to win probably 85% of the draws. So right there, you're going to start with the puck more often. That's going to help your special teams. But again, guys are going to play in different roles, and it's going to help our special teams, going to help our 5-on-5 play. But last year you probably saw guys in the power play that probably should be on the penalty kill, and vice versa. And I think now with the depth that we have, it'll be a little bit easier to slot guys into right situations, and they're not going to get as tired if guys are doing both. We'll try to even out the ice time.
Okay.
There are 11 first-round picks in college hockey this year. There could be 6 of them on the ice Friday night. Does that kind of tell you what Friday night could be in terms of how good these two teams are?
Well, it certainly should be fun for the fans. They should get their tickets and go watch because it's going to be exciting, and there'll probably be a ton of mistakes early, especially early on in the year. Guys are going to be really excited, but the puck's going to be in the back of the net, especially with the talent that's on the ice. So it should be a lot of fun to watch. And, you look at our battles, our recruiting battles. BC is always we roll up the sleeves with them, and we go head-to-head, and they win some, we win some. So it's kind of fun to be able to go out there and play.
Brian?
How much more improved is your defensive core? You believe your defensive core will be, Mark?
Well, maturity. You for a defenseman, you need time. It's hard for a young player, young defenseman to jump in and do well. It doesn't matter. It could be high school, it could be junior hockey, it could be college, and certainly the pro level. They need time. And obviously, you look at the maturity that we have now. Everyone's a little bit older, a year older, and had quite a few games under the belt. And you're adding really one young defenseman to the group that's a high-level player, high-level thinker. He's jumping in and doing very well.
Are you anticipating Keandre playing Friday or don't know yet?
Probably a little bit early. He's going to be back. He's back with the team here this morning, and he'll be practicing tomorrow.